Hello, and welcome to the Leap to Success podcast, where we highlight incredible women entrepreneurs who are taking bold leaps in business and life. I'm your host, Mary Gaul, and I believe that success is built through connection, contribution, and celebration. In each episode, we bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and actionable strategies to help you grow and thrive as an entrepreneur. Let's dive into today's conversation. I am super excited to have as our guest today Jill Lublin, and she is an amazing speaker, author, and just general knowledgeable about business and women in business in particular. So I can't wait to dive into our conversation today. But thank you, Jill, for being here. And why don't we get started by just letting you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about your story to our listeners.
Sure. Thank you, Mary, for having me. And I love the LEAP community, and I love being a woman in business. I actually am a four-time best-selling author, and I speak all over the world. I'm a publicity expert, and as such, I run media mastery intensives. Everything's online and made it really easy. COVID helped that. And also, I run kindness circles based on my book, The Profit of Kindness. And those are monthly and super fun. And that's what I'm doing now. And of course, like everyone, I've had a journey to get here. But one thing I learned about business is you have to be adaptable. So that's where I am right now.
Yes, I love it. I love it. We're going to dive into those kindness circles in a little bit. But every entrepreneur has their own unique journey to kind of get to where they are now. So tell our listeners just a little bit about your background and kind of what led you into, either writing your first book and starting your first business. And kind of, I know you've been through iterations, as we all have, but tell us about taking that first leap from, whether you've always been an entrepreneur, or when it was that first leap to write your first business, write your first book, or start that first business.
So I was actually in law school thinking that would be my career path.
Okay.
And that wasn't true. I didn't like it, which really surprised me because I actually really was intent on being an attorney. Nobody in my family had graduated, not only, undergrad, but certainly gone on. So I was proud of that. I was excited about that. And I actually really thought that the law would be a great place for me to make a difference. And to understand, and do that well, accept that. I dropped out of law school because I hated it. And it just wasn't for me. And my creative mind, which is very good for what I do, publicity, marketing, but not so good for law school. So at that point, I actually started my career in the music business and discovered what my true talent is, which is to promote, market. And I actually ended up working at 4 independent record labels, and then expanded my business to serve entrepreneurs and small business owners. I actually opened a public relations agency, and that was terrific, and then closed that down because, frankly, when my first book came out, Guerrilla Publicity, I was able to start speaking and doing trainings that were, frankly, far more affordable for entrepreneurs and small businesses. And that felt really good to me. And so I've continued on that path. And I think I found the sweet spot of, really doing things in an unusual way, affordable ways. When I had a PR agency, it was $5,000 a month. Well, most small businesses can't afford that. So I think I found a nice formula, and that's been my journey, is finding the right way to serve people with my talents. And then when I wrote The Profit of Kindness, I started the kindness circles, and sort of there's people who tend to do both. So that's really fun.
I love that. I love that. And listening to that calling, I ran a law firm for 10 years and did everything but practice law. So I'm not a paralegal or a lawyer, but I ran the office. And so seeing people who go into that profession and or any profession because they think it would be fun, or it's the family heritage, like everybody in our office, in our family's a dentist or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's not a fit for everybody. And so congratulations to you for listening to that and paying attention to that and saying, okay, this is not the right career path for me, and finding a way to, you know, use your skills as a marketing and publicity. I love that you started in the music industry and then expanded out from there, right? So, because it's fun to promote music because it's a fun thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's what
That's
you
what
need to
actually
do.
saved me in my first year of law school. So
Yeah,
that was great.
nice. I love it. I love it. Um, so what have been some of your biggest lessons or surprises along the way, and how did they shape your business or your life?
Well, of course, honestly, dropping out of law school was a surprise to me. It's not my
Yeah.
normal personality to give up on something.
Yeah.
So probably that was one of the big surprises. And being tapped on the shoulder to write guerrilla publicity was actually a surprise. It's part of the J. Conrad Levinson Guerrilla series, and they've sold over 1 million books. And sliding into that was really a wonderful opportunity and a great surprise. That was fun. Also, well, on the sort of sad and upsetting side, I actually fell and fractured my ankles, literally both of them at
Oh
once in
my
multiple
goodness.
places. Yeah,
Oh my
so I ended
goodness.
up in a wheelchair for 6 months. That was a negative surprise, but here's what's interesting: like
Mhm.
everything in life, lessons learned. I had to
Yes.
learn to really ask for help, and that was a good surprise. And actually,
Yeah.
it served me well throughout my career, is learning to ask for help and get support. And especially as a woman, I think a lot of us
Right.
deal with that.
Yes.
So that was a surprise, of course.
Yeah. And that you can overcome hard things, right? You can deal with the challenge. It feels insurmountable at the time, like, how am I going to possibly get through this? And then you get through it, and then you come out stronger on the other side. So that's a tough one. Both of your ankles at the same time. That's a big one. Um, So coming back to that kind of, some of the surprises are not always positive in our businesses, right? And even when they are positive, when somebody reaches out to you and says, "Hey, we want to tap you to write this book in our series," and it's a big step forward for you, or for, to be asked, it's a nice honor. And so fear and doubt can be part of the process of accepting new challenges or overcoming challenges in our business. So, what kind of tricks have you found, Jill, that help you move through those as you
Yeah.
move out of your comfort zone?
Well, and I, like everybody, has my fears and
Hmm.
anxieties and insecurities and all that good stuff. Am I good enough? All that. And
Yeah.
one thing I've learned is that fear is the same energy as excitement.
Hmm.
So if I'm afraid, I will say, I'm so excited. And
Yeah.
I'll just substitute that energy. That helps a lot.
Yes.
So I do that. I also keep myself in a lot of transformational work, and I have my own routines and rhythms and prayers and different things I can do that ground me and support me every day. But also my mentors and teachers. So I'm big on, I'll call it spiritual and transformational work for me,
Yeah.
because that's the only thing I can really keep.
Right. You can only control what happens up here, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
How you think about
exactly.
things. Yeah.
So I do a lot of that,
Great.
and all of that has helped everything else.
Yes, good, good. I love those. And I think it's easy for us to kind of spiral out if we're more externally focused. And the
Mm,
more internally focused we can get through whatever methods we need, whether it's meditation or prayer or, affirmations, whatever it is, that we can help guide that internal, keep
yes,
that in check for and keep
all
us
the
from
above
spiraling
for
out.
me.
Yes, yeah, yes, yeah.
I think you got to have a lot of tools in your toolbox these days and pull out which
Yes,
ones you need, at different times.
yes, yes. So this next question is about daily habits and practices, but I'm going to kind of tweak it a little bit just based on your expertise. Because we just talked about the internal practices that we can do. But what are some practices that entrepreneurs can be doing daily or weekly to help them build better visibility and increase their publicity?
Well, one thing I recommend is 30 minutes a week. 30 minutes a week. Everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Do what I like to call a visibility building activity. And
Okay.
that could be networking and showing up. That could be tracking some media on whether it's social media or doing some pitching or listening for what are the news stories right now that I can fit into. Those are three really good actions.
Great.
So I'd like you to really just, 30 minutes to an hour every single week. I promise you major momentum if you actually do that. The other thing is just, keep your ears wide open. Like, where are opportunities to be seen, heard, get on podcasts when you are networking? Who's running them?
Yeah.
Have you, being willing to ask, I think is
Yes.
the big thing.
I love it. I love that. And so when you, something you said sparked my interest when you said listening to news stories and how can you kind of insert yourself into those. So how would you suggest people do that? There's a lot of, things happening in the world and as business owners, those might affect us directly, right? In your local community or things like that. And so how would you suggest that somebody gets into the story?
So, a couple things. One is, the good news is locally, people are interested in experts in their local area. So, I highly
Mhm.
recommend you create a media list of your ABC, NBC, Fox News, CBS affiliates where you live. Who are the producers of the morning show? There's usually a bigger morning show, and then there's the
Yeah.
morning news segments, there's the evening news segments, and guess what they need? Experts and
Yes.
guests. So, and especially the morning shows, they love it and they need it and they want you. Also,
Yeah.
you have local business journals, same thing. They're doing small business stories. They want people to profile, but particularly you can often fit in within the business stories of the local business journal as well as your local paper. Those
Yeah.
would be a great, those are some great places to start. And then I'm a big believer, like we are here right now on podcasts.
Yes.
A lot of opportunity for people in podcast and in podcasting. And again, a great need for a lot of guests. So those are some
Yes.
excellent and simple places to start.
Yes, I love it. Thank you for going through that list because we sometimes think, well, how can I get myself in the story? But there's so many ways to do it. And even just going to, I live in Colorado, and so our local news, you can submit stories. So if there's something really cool that you're doing in your business or with your networking group or something like that, submit the story. You never know where it's going to go, right? So I love
Absolutely.
the visibility building activities each week and making a list of those and then getting them on your calendar consistently, right? It's not just something you do once a year or once every 6 months. You need to consistently be doing
That's
those
right.
visibility
About building,
activities.
it's about momentum. PR
Yeah.
happens with momentum.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Those are great tips. Great tips. Um, so success isn't just about a bottom line number, right? We want to make money, we want to have abundance in our business, but it's also about joy and fulfillment. And so, what kind of things do you do that truly light you up in the work that you get to do now?
Well, in the work that I get to do, I love having people with powerful messages that
Hmm.
I see them light up and get intentional and motivated and go out with confidence. That just excites me. And
Yeah.
also when I can dig in and get a message that perhaps they've been struggling with. I had a woman, who's a real estate professional, and in 28 no, I think 24 minutes of a 30-minute call, I gave her the right words to say.
Oh,
And she said,
nice.
"Oh, I've been struggling with this for 3 months," right? So,
Wow.
so I like when that happens. That's exciting. And on a personal level, I love chasing sunsets, I call it, meaning seeing beautiful sunsets. And
Yes.
I have kitty cats, and I love taking kitty hug breaks.
Nice.
Good for the hormones and just fun and enjoy that. So those are some of the things that I give to myself. And I do
Good.
think it's important to give to yourself because frankly, I'm giving so much out every day. It's also like how am I going to fill up?
Yes, we have to recharge our own batteries for
Yeah,
sure. Yes, I teach a class called Pinnacle Productivity, and we talk about personal time. And I used to think personal time was any time I wasn't, parenting or working or cooking or those kind of things. And it's like, no, personal time is things that recharge your battery.
Yes.
And I kind of had lost sight of those when I was, you know, a working mom and a wife and a daughter and all those kind of things all those roles we take on. And you kind of put what brings you joy to the side, you know. And so I really had to focus on what does bring me joy and fulfillment in my work and in my personal life, right? So I started a book club. I started the On the Water networking where we paddleboard during the summer. So, you know,
Fun.
those things are really important. And cat hugs, we used to have a cat. Our cat's no longer with us, but love little kitty cat hugs too. So I'm with you there.
Yes, and then I think putting them on your calendar, making sure they're
Yes.
there, including, date night, friend lunches. I have to sometimes
Yes.
my assistant will, start scheduling my lunch. I'm like, one time a week, I want to go out to lunch with a friend, like just because it feels good to me. It's fun.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that. Um, the next question is all about collaboration and community. How has surrounding yourself with the right people helped you grow?
I actually really think it's important to have colleagues that you partner with, that you collaborate with, that are part of your network, that
Mhm.
care about your success and that you care about theirs and are committed to it,
Yes.
meaning
Yes.
helping each other. None of us can do this alone, realistically. I mean,
Right.
I don't know anyone actually.
Yeah.
And, I think it's important to have those at least collegial relationships. Hopefully, some friendships will come out of that too. And
Yeah.
part of that is, just be good to people if they need some help or, buy their book and launch their campaigns. Great. Help them with their launches or support their networks, whatever it is. But
Yes.
listen for what do people need. I think it makes a big difference.
Yes. And then my mom used to always say this, allowing people to help you is giving them a gift, right?
Yeah.
So when you shift that, you know, you mentioned when you had broken ankles and you had to learn to ask for help, right? Shifting that mindset around, asking for help is giving somebody else the opportunity or a gift of letting them help me because we all want to help each other out, right? So
Yeah.
that happens in business and in life. So when you get the opportunity to stand up and help someone in their business and help their business succeed, it really it gives us the gift of feeling
Yeah.
like we're contributing to them, right?
Yes,
Which I love.
absolutely.
So if I want to get into the kindness circles before I jump into this other question. So tell me a little bit about the book and how that led you to come up with the kindness circles.
Sure. Well, it's funny. I'd written 3 books, right? And then all
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
sudden, a publisher said, would you be willing to write The Prophet of Kindness? And I'm like, how does that tie into everything? And then all of a sudden I had this, epiphany one day. Oh yeah, kind companies get more publicity just
Yeah.
naturally. It just
Mhm.
happens naturally. And it was kind of born out of my own personal world with a wonderful woman that I was kind with, and it kind of created the whole title and everything else. And
Nice.
when the book was out and published and all the promotion and publicity started, I was very blessed to get on lots of Fox Network. I was on literally 7 of them in the first 30
Oh,
days.
wow.
Forbes and Inc. twice for kindness in business and how do you do that? And lots of great things happen. And I'm like, oh, I think I pushed the right button here, right?
Yes,
And of
yeah.
course, more and more and more, we actually need even more kindness in these days and every day. And so
Yes.
I found the right way to talk about kindness in business, to talk about the divided states of America, to talk about different
Yeah.
aspects of kindness. Plus, there's World Kindness Day, and there's all
Yeah.
kinds of things that happen and go on around the topic. And then I started realizing, I want to just bring people together and let's be kind to each other and let's just be in
Yeah.
that energy once a month. So that's what we do. Once a month, we come together. I have somebody who talks for like 10 minutes. Many
Hmm.
you've heard of, like Jack Canfield and different people in different fields, and some you've never heard of that I found in People magazine.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a kindness issue in People magazine. So, all kinds of different wonderful opportunities for people to inspire our group. And then we usually have 2 breakouts. And that's really the wonderful time that we get to talk to each other.
Hmm.
And one of the breakouts, I actually have people ask for something that will support them in a kind way. And so
Nice.
business is getting done. It's kind. People are telling me that, like, for that hour, they just sort of leave everything behind and focus on kindness. Like, what a
Yeah.
great thing, right?
I love it. I love it. And it is, it's so needed in the world. And it is, it's something that we can give and receive. It doesn't cost anything
Right.
typically, right? I mean, if you're buying a book or something to support somebody, it could cost you something, but it doesn't have to cost you anything. It could just be a smile or listening to somebody, and these little acts of kindness, right? That make us feel better as human beings and more
Yes.
connected, and the better we can build that habit, it it obviously leads to profitability in our business, right? Because you're showing up as a happier human being, less stressed, which then tends to lead to better sales calls, better client deliveries, all those kind of things. So I love that you've tied that all together,
Right.
and really tied in business to or kindness to profits, because they are directly linked, and it's not something that most business schools or business trains of thought teach you about, right? More bottom line strategy tactics, but kindness is a tactic. It can be something that can really affect the way you run your business and the joy you get from your business as well.
Well, and I want to add in that it's a competitive advantage, interestingly enough.
Yes.
And kind companies do get more business. In the writing of the book, I found, that not only was the CEO happier, the clients and customers are happier. And this means one person businesses and bigger businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad that you took the leap to to write those books and get that message out there, and that you're doing these kind of circles. So, if any of our listeners are on the edge of taking a big leap, what kind of advice would you give them to take that first step with confidence?
Mm. So, the first thing is get clear on your message. And when I say message, I mean the message that the media would say yes to. Like,
Hmm.
look at what's the problem out there, not what do you do,
Yeah,
but what's
yeah,
the problem out there, and then come up with some good solutions for what you would tell people. Because when the media does interview you, you've got to be prepared with that and have some good things to say. And so building your confidence in having that would actually be important. And then I'd say start with podcasts, because they tend to be easier, shorter,
hmm,
nice, wonderful people like you who
yeah.
are asking good questions. And I say start there. You can find lists of them and things like podmatch.com. That would
Hmm.
be where I'd start.
Okay, great advice. Great advice. And what's next for you? Any exciting projects coming up, or new books coming up, or
Well,
things?
I'll tell you, I'm excited about continuing kindness circles, my media mastery intensives, and really just continuing to serve people in that way. Yeah. So for right now, that's plenty.
Yes, yeah, yes. And just so our listeners know, we're going to put all of your contact information in the show notes. And so if they're listening, they can find it on whatever they're listening to their podcasts on, or if they're watching it on YouTube, it will be in the show notes as well, in the YouTube description. But just so they know, what's the best place to find you online?
Absolutely. What I did was made a free gift for all of you with great actionable public relations tips and an
Wonderful.
ability to see me live, ask me questions, and take more publicity masterclass right with me, and all free. And so you go to jilllublin.com/guide, GUIDE.
Okay, fantastic. We will put that in the show notes. So the link will be there. It'll be easy for people to go and find you and connect with you. Thank you for coming up with those resources for our listeners. And thank you for sharing your story with us, your journey with us. And obviously, she's written books, so go look her up on Amazon and check out all of her books. Great tips in there. And then you've given us these free resources that we can go find you. And you are a speaker, so find out where Jill's speaking next and go and visit her in person if she's speaking near you. So thank you again for taking time to be on the Leap to Success podcast. For our listeners, I hope that you found some inspiration, motivation, and a few golden nuggets to take with you on your journey. If you loved this conversation, be sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if our conversation with Jill today resonated with you, make sure to show her some love and some kindness by sharing this episode with somebody else who may need to hear this message. Remember, you can find all of Jill's information in the show notes wherever you're listening or watching. If you want to go deeper into the LEAP community, you can find even more resources, connections, and opportunities to show up and grow. You can visit us at successmagnified.com/leap4ladies to learn more. So until next time, keep taking bold leaps, contributing your gifts, and celebrating your successes. Thank you again, Jill, for being a guest on the show today. I really appreciated you being here.
Thank you.